Welcome to Hashtag with Nabugozi Chiwanuka. This is a place where we help you unravel social constructs, discuss self-development in line with mental health, emotional well-being, and everything in between that directly or indirectly affects us in the millennial world around us. If you're hearing my voice for the first time and are the kind of person who is not scared of being a better version of yourself even if it requires you to contradict who you were 24 hours ago, consider this your virtual home. I'm your host, Nabugozi Chiwanuka, and I cannot wait to engage with you in the various conversations. This Wednesday marks the 98th episode of Hashtag with Nabugozi Chiwanuka, and our guest is none other than Odour Jagero. Today makes it Jagero's third appearance on the podcast, so there are no introductions. So if you don't know who he is and you are in dire need of understanding who he really is, do check out episode 35. In this episode, Jagero and I discuss his book, Urban Lovers and Liars, and while doing so, we concluded that life is complex and so is dealing with human beings. I don't know what your views are, but if anything resonates with you during our conversation, do share with us on social media with the hashtag HTNKN session. Here is our episode. Kowa, welcome back to Hashtag with Nabugozi Chiwanuka.
Thank you.
Why are you looking at me like that?
It's just nice how you change into official business.
Well, I was also surprised the last time I heard your serious voice. I was like, that sounds good.
When was the serious voice?
When I was there and you were doing a voiceover. I was like, dude, that sounds good.
Very good.
So we are going to be talking about the book that you published in, was it 2020 or was it 2021?
I think it was 2021. I don't remember much about it. I don't remember the date. It passes me sometimes. Dates are very difficult for me to remember.
Not just dates, even your own promises.
Yes, that is fair to say.
So we're going to be talking about Urban Lovers and Liars. First of all, Can you tell us about what inspired you to choose this? It's a little bit negative. It goes to the kinds of people that don't like relationships and like, urban lovers and liars.
Oh, it's a bit negative. I wouldn't say it's negative. I would just say it's what it is.
It's what it is?
Yeah, because it is really based on serious research and what people and the lives of urban lovers and liars for that.
And in there are 8 stories, short stories. It's a collection of short stories.
Yeah.
But for starters, if someone wants the book, are they going to be able to find copies? Because the last I checked, they were done. Can they still make a purchase?
Right? Of course, there are copies. There are digital copies. There are no. What is the opposite of digital copy? The
hard copies.
The hardcover book. The hardcover book is not there right now. Yeah. So if somebody wants to read it, then they must read the digital copy, which is in EPUB, PDF, and Kindle version, and all those other versions that are available for a book.
All right. So we're going to go over the contents in their specific order as you outline them in the book, and there is semicolon.
Yeah. Have you read it?
Everything.
That's nice.
Everything.
The semicolon. Yes.
Because
what do you want to know about it?
Okay, so you're talking about, without giving so much content, there is this person that is struggling with, their emotions, and they are considering suicide. And I noticed it is the biggest story in the book.
Yeah. The longest.
Exactly. I was like, does he want to tell me something here? Why is it the longest story in this book?
Is it your favorite?
My favorite? Let me see. No, I'll tell you my favorite at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the question is, Every story takes its own life. As a writer, you start writing a story and then it keeps developing and developing and developing and developing. So it was meant to be a very short odyssey or journey to death. But then as you continue writing it and leave it there and come back to it, you come up with other crossroads and other junctions and things like that. So I am surprised that actually at some point I was like, should I just make this a novella? Because it is actually a novella. It could be a novella. So that is the reason why it's long. Every story just takes its own life. They say that when you're writing a story, you might have an idea and then that idea develops consciousness. Yeah, so that is probably why it is the longest story. And I think it is the one that I took a lot of time to research and write about.
Oh, okay. So because I am so much in the space of mental health, and I was overseeing everything in it, what details are being captured, what should have been done better. So when I saw that people go as far as the possibility of traveling, I was like, this can happen. And you had this cycling thing where people were doing the cycling, and shortly after, I must have met a Kenyan who is doing cycling while raising awareness on suicide. Where could you have come up with this idea of the cycling?
Well, I read about it. As a writer, you always research a little bit about these things. The idea is that, you know, the idea of death can become very exciting at some point.
Right.
The fantasy about dying becomes like a drug, like somebody who is high on something. You know, so that is the fact that when you die, all these problems are going to suddenly go, and you're no longer going to be worried about that man that has eloped with another woman, that woman that has taken all your children and has gone somewhere else that you can only see those children on Instagram or on Facebook. You see, or the idea that, you know, you have all this debt and suddenly if you die, then all these things go away. There is this shame that is about to come out in the papers, and you're just thinking, if I die now, I'll not hear about it. It is gone, I'll not care about it. So that excitement, that euphoria around death.
On a personal basis, has a relationship ever crushed you so much you felt like, oh my God, I need to off myself?
No. Before marriage, I was not big on relationships. I dated, but not extensively.
Oh, yeah?
No.
So,
to that point of getting unbelievable heartbreaks, no. I sort of consider myself to have really preserved myself. I'm a coward.
But even you can't tell. You can't foresee all that. In most cases, you want to believe the person that you're in conversations with. You don't.
Yeah, but you see that belief, and for that matter, I'm also I don't trust a lot. My trust levels are very low.
Oh yeah.
Very, very low, yeah.
I wanted to be surprised, but then I remembered there are a couple of times when I tell you my stuff and you're like, you are lying.
Yeah, it's difficult for me to be just trusting all the time. I believe humans are not trustworthy, and with good reasons.
Tell me about the good reasons.
There are so many things going on in a person's life, and sometimes the trust that you're supposed to get from them is betrayed, not because of them, but because of other factors surrounding their lives. So they might have promised you money, and you trust that they're going to give you money, and things just happen, and they're not able to provide that money. Mm-hmm. And you would go and say, I trusted you that you're going to provide this. But the factors have made sure he's not having access to those funds anymore. So he appears untrustworthy to you, but it's just that factors have erased their ability to do what they had promised to do.
But that's different. If you communicate, if I promise you something, Koa, and I told you that, hey, I'm going to send you G-nuts. Yeah. Don't fight me. Don't.
Go ahead.
And finances just fail me. I'm going to communicate and tell you, dude, I'm asking you to wait a little longer so that I iron out my finances.
Yeah, but you see, there is already a failure. Mm-hmm. Even the date when you said you're not going to send it, you're not sending it on that date. So you've already let the person down. So they can say on the other side that I trusted that you're going to send it on this date. And I trusted you and you gave me your word, but now you're not sending it on the 5th. You don't have the money to send it on the 5th.
Yeah.
You see those dynamics.
But that's not something that can beat your trust. People are shaken. When I talk about trust, I would look at someone who does not honor their word. Someone who is all about telling lies all the time. We
Yeah,
failed.
but how do you know they're telling lies? How do you know?
I think sometimes it would come with patterns. You can tell.
Like for example, there are people in my life that know that Jagero will never lack money, but I do lack money. So you have that belief that I always have money. That's not the truth. You see? So when I don't give you the money, you think that I'm not trustworthy. You cannot rely on my word. But the truth is, I didn't have it.
There are very many people that don't trust you, Koa.
Yeah, it's true. Like many other people are not trusted. I have no problem. By the way, the way I live my life is very simple. I am not able to come to your front yard and put beliefs in your head. No. Hey, your front yard is your front yard, and your drawer is your drawer. Whatever you want to put there, whether they are underwears, whether they are pants, whether they are dildos, whatever they are, I'm not in a position to influence that. So, yeah. The other day we were going to Nakuru with Donyango. We agreed that we are meeting at 11. By the way, a lot of people think I'm very trustworthy. So they were coming with Odour Jagero. So they reached the office and they couldn't find me. They called me and they couldn't find me on phone. My phone was busy the whole time. I was on the opposite side of the road, taking tea and chatting with my friends. And I forgot that they were supposed to show up at 11. So they showed up at the office. I was not there, but the office was open. And they called me, they couldn't find me, and Onyango started really panicking because I was the one having the equipment, I was the one having the car to go to Nakuru. So he really panicked. Even Agak really panicked. They couldn't find me on phone. They called my wife, Amari, they couldn't find her on phone. They had to drive to my house to check where I am. Didn't find me.
That's a lot of
pressure.
I
called them. Yeah, then I called them later, like, dude, what is going on? Why have you tried calling me 20 times? See what I mean?
But then for your case, I know you for being forgetful. I think that's something that sometimes make us fight. Like, no, you said this. I did? When? You're like, is this guy serious?
I think I need to go for treatment for
brain boosting.
For forgetfulness. Yeah?
You need to have brain boosters with you. Memory boosters. You forget a lot.
That's what they are called.
I've heard of them. I've heard of brain boosters. Should we go to the next story?
Yeah.
How I remember everything. I had hope in this story. I had so much hope. There was so much love happening. And then at the end...
Yeah. How I remember everything, yeah.
She is...
I thought the people that went to...
At the end, she is in court. She's a witness, and I'm like, no, Jagero, you don't do that.
But that is the life of a lot of people. Shakira, you remember Shakira's life?
I didn't read so much of it. I just got to see the Rolex and the Casio. I didn't give it attention.
The Rolex and the Casio story. Yeah, they left each other. Shakira was one of the most beautiful women that I've ever seen. And do you remember those videos where her ass was like the mountain?
I might not know so much because I was really young in her time of fame. I might not have seen so much of her body.
Oh yeah, but you still would know. Would you be aghast at the size of a woman's?
I would. I've seen women and I'm like, Lord God Almighty.
You see how Shakira was beautiful and then it comes in and tweaks a few things, and loosens some balls here and there. And men and loose balls. Men want them tied all the time. They forget that they also have loose balls, but they don't. Okay, that's my balls. I'm not talking about my balls. I'm talking about the other one. So yeah, it is all beautiful, it is all flowery, it is all heavenly, and then this person comes into your lives and wrecks the whole thing. And that is the story of how I remember everything.
Oh my God. I was like, no way. I think I closed the book for a couple of minutes and I was like, what was that? Because I liked the flow. And then I think there were like 3 paragraphs at the end. I was like, no, you don't do that. You are supposed to last.
No, only God lasts. That's what it is.
Ooh, and then the man with the gray hair.
What is that about?
The man with the gray hair, where the girl had this new job.
The accident?
No, it's not the accident. the man with the grey hair, this girl was dating a broke guy. They were all broke. Then she lands a job, only for her to find, and she was almost falling in love with the boss, only to find out that it's her dad. Oops.
Yeah. That is what happens, right? That's what happens. Things happen in life, you know. The way you realize that the teacher is actually your auntie.
No, but this guy knew.
Yeah, he did.
The father knew. That's different. With the teacher who turned out to be my aunt.
It's not different. The girl didn't know.
But, well, where I'm saying that it's different is that...
How sure are you that your auntie did not know that you're relative?
She didn't. She was surprised to see me. Because also me, I was surprised when I saw her at my grandfather's birthday. And I was like, excuse me, are you Miss Kagwa? And she's like, yeah. And then she remembered me. She started telling people around. Like, as teachers, I think we need to be very careful. Now, imagine I was torturing this kid in school.
Hey, but my uncle tortured me. And he knew that I was his relative.
I think.
But I just think it was difficult to deal with me. I was very difficult to deal with as a pupil.
But
I used to abuse people.
You used to do what?
Abuse people.
Have you changed?
My mouth was the only thing I had. I didn't have any strength. My mouth was all my strength.
Have you changed, Jagero? When you look back, do you feel like you changed?
I don't know much about that. I don't know much about that. I don't know much about that, I don't know much about that.
But why is this story in here? Because it doesn't feel like urban lie. Okay, should we look at it as the urban liar, that he wasn't truthful?
But you had love with the girl's mom, and what happened? Why not? Are they not living in the same house?
Things happen.
Why is the relationship? Why is the relationship broken?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but there was love before all this broke, and who lied to who? That's the question.
Mm-hmm.
The kid might be asking the same question. Who lied to who?
Right.
Why did this happen? Did you guys know that you're going to get pregnant? You know, those things. So it's perfect. It perfectly fits. You just have to turn it around upside down to see how it looks.
You need to dig deep into every corner.
Yeah.
Ooh, going to Nanyuki, But let me first ask you, what happens in Nanyuki? For some reason, there is a period when I was overseeing stories on Facebook from Kenyans, and the word Nanyuki just stuck with me. And then I opened the book, it was there, and I'm still seeing posts coming up. What is so special about Nanyuki?
It's a very cold place where you can actually pee on your bed at night because you get so frozen you won't be able to stand and go pee. You can actually pee on your bed some months during the year. It gets extremely cold, and it is a place that was really loved by the colonists. They have got ranches upon ranches there even now, and the amazing thing that sometimes you go there, even the UK army, that's where they train. So it has there's a lot of prostitution there because of the money that is there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Nanyuki is Nanyuki.
Going to Nanyuki. This guy had to run out with one shoe and...
Going to Nanyuki is crazy. Going to Nanyuki is crazy.
Is it something that you still researched on, or was it just a random, creation from your mind?
It's a story about people who go to school and really get learned, then come back and then education doesn't really help them as much as they thought it would. Like there are courses around the world, or especially in Africa, that you do, and you're sure that there are very few opportunities to do those things. Like this motherfuckers doing agronomy, I don't know what. These crazy things that they do. I have my cousin who did this agriculture thing, and he's just chilling at home in the village. For some reason, it has not helped him much. Even somebody who went and did a certificate in web design is better off.
Right.
Yeah, but this guy going to Nanyuki just want to enjoy his life. I mean, his father wants him to do that business in Kisumu of boda using a bicycle.
A bicycle?
Yeah.
That's harder.
Yeah. Do they do that in Uganda?
No, we have them in the city center. but it's mostly for carrying luggage. Once in a while, you get to see someone on the bicycle.
No, it's very prevalent in the port city of Kisumu. So yeah, for me, I think the story is about expectations, things that you order in life, and what actually comes is delivered to you. Yeah.
I mean, he went
you
as
go
far
abroad
as
and
going
study.
abroad to study.
Yeah.
Only for him
And
to
then he
end
comes
up...
back and he realizes that it's just not working.
You just go and milk cows. Hey!
Yeah. But again, I was sort of making fun of education in a way, how education can turn around and haunt us. And it goes deeper into what really education is. Because a lot of people take education to mean finding jobs.
Right.
Which has been really confusing, especially at the turn of the century. There are so many unemployed that went to really good schools. The other day, a guy told me that, you know what? I took this young girl to St. Mary's, to Riara School, then I took her to USIU University. And looking at her, I really wonder if she went to school. You see, USIU is one of the most prestigious universities in Nairobi. Mm-hmm. They pay an arm and a leg to be there. They have everything. Talk about the latest MacBooks. Talk about the latest cameras. Talk about the latest technology. But then this guy is saying that I don't feel like she went to school. Even a conversation, she's just in the house watching Netflix most of the time and fiddling with her phone. What was the expectation of that father? That now that girl would be having a nice car, one of those stupid small cars that women like, and should be driving to work to some UN place, She would be going to a bank. She would be in a banking hall with a nice hair and glittering glasses and beautiful lipstick and beautiful earrings hanging from her ears and a nice necklace, and probably dating and probably planning a marriage. And those are some of the things that haunt me as a father. How is Maya going to turn out, And I think that the way Maya is going to turn out is from now.
Right.
Not when she finishes school. Right now, she's with her auntie. They're going places and she's holding the camera, shooting her auntie, and she's appearing on YouTube without a face. Those are the kind of... That for me, I think, is the way children are going to know life. Just putting children to brood in school all the time, like you wake up, go to school, and it's just a song that is sung to you for 23 years.
Right. That's a very long time.
Just school. And the question is, why am I so... Like the other day, I was asking my sister, why are these kids not allowed to go to school with their phones or their laptop computers? I find it unbelievable, really, Nabuguzi, that a 16-year-old is not allowed to go to boarding school with their computer and with their phone. How is that possible in 2023?
Right.
Which world are these people in? So the assumption is that this is evil. A laptop is evil. All they're going to do is to watch porn on it. They are eventually going to watch porn.
But don't they have computer libraries where they can access the internet? I feel like that can also be used.
Where? In school?
There are computer libraries that we had in the school.
Yeah, but for example, that is neither here nor there. I mean, if you have 6 computers and you have 150 students, what are you doing?
No, I mean for the part, if they're scared about pornography, I feel like that is something kids can always do in the computer library.
Well, the idea is if you are having a school lab, then there are some steps that you can take to make sure that people don't browse pornography in school. You can actually cut all those sites away, and that is possible. But you see, even a parent is able to do that. Well, I can take this computer and take it to a guy and tell him that I want this computer never to access porn site. It won't. These days, computers are made with parental controls.
Right.
And if, for example, my brother's son wants to do coding, this is the perfect time for him to start coding. He needs to code now. He should not start coding when he leaves school. But these people are saying that the only thing he can use to code, he can't show up in school with it.
Because they are providing a different kind of, education theory.
What kind of education would that be?
The ones that colonialists left with us. So
yeah, which is terrible.
Right.
Which is really terrible. So that story is about making fun of education in the way it is. Thinking that education is actually like right now. parents are not taking advantage of the small colleges that have come up. Small colleges that teach specific things. If you want to do web design, you go and put your head down and learn the innards of web design.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather do that. Like the other day, somebody told me that they want their sister to come and intern at Core Media. And I'm like, what did they do? He's telling me information technology. I said, what the fuck is that? What is information technology? It makes no sense to me. And then when you finally get to talk to these people, they have just done 1,000 things and touched on each one. You see, the way you go to a buffet and taste food, that's all they have done.
That is what we do in our schools. Let me tell you, I thought before joining the law school, I'm really sad that I didn't have a chance to do research. I thought there was a chance for us to have specialization. If not in year 4, at least we should be able to do that at the postgraduate diploma, level. But you're doing almost everything, and you're like, what are we doing? It's a lot of wastage of time.
Yeah, so the story is about going to the new kids, basically that story.
It was very dramatic. and the way how you even made fun of it was going as far as you might be having your masters from whichever country, Oxford and everything. You're going to milk cows and you're going to be panicking, waiting for me to call you back.
Yeah, that's what education is about.
Mm-hmm. Then we jump to the painter. Hey!
The damn painter.
You embarrass me.
Look at those rays showering over Kampala, my friend.
Exactly.
They're all over your face. I can imagine how it is outside there.
Yeah, and the sun has come out.
But it has come out very strongly with a lot of energy, yeah?
Yeah, and if I didn't have trees around, it would just be flashing on me, the whole of it.
Yeah, I can see those shadows of trees.
So the painter, I had access to these stories before published.
Oh yeah, I don't remember that.
Jagero.
I faintly remember.
Do you remember that I was supposed to read and I sent you some recordings?
Yes, you did. Yes. Awesome. Yeah. Now I remember.
Oh my God. See?
Now my memory is clearly jogged.
So I was trying to understand how best I can pace myself while reading, and I asked Mom to help me read. So when Mom was trying to read through it to help me learn how to pace myself while reading, she was like, these are not the guns that you think. And I had to read further, and I was like, oh my God, what did I just make Mom read?
You wouldn't be surprised. You are not...
Oh my God. This, I know, I was side-eyeing the owner of the guns, right? Until I got to the end. And I was like, oh my God. And I remember I texted you at night and I was like, I didn't know this website exists.
It does exist. There are so many things that exist.
I checked it. I looked it up after reading. And I was like, is this fiction or this thing actually exists? And it was there. And I was like, oh my God.
Most of those things are there.
The twist at the end.
Yeah.
It really made me realize how we don't really know people. We have these stereotypes about, I'm going to see Jagero and I'll be like, oh, definitely Jagero is this. Just face value. You see things and you're like, I'm taking it as it appears. And yet, there is so much that happens behind the curtains. So, could it be something that you want to throw some light on the painter?
The painter is about how we go bragging about the people we know. And then everything comes to the fore and you're like, who the bleep did I marry?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that ID thing?
The what?
It's a series on ID.
I haven't.
It's called Who the Bleep Did I Marry?
I haven't seen
Who the
it.
F did I marry?
I didn't see it.
It's about people just doing crazy things and their spouses have no idea what they are doing. Like there is an episode where there is this guy that the wife knew that she was in the business of legally selling organs. So in the United States, somebody can leave a will that if I die, I would like to donate my kidney, my warts, for research purposes or for anything. You know, there is a story called The Body Farm by Kisner that you should read. It's a very nice read. There are people who donate their bodies to go and rot in a body farm, you know, for research purposes. So this gentleman, apparently, instead of doing the legal thing, he went about doing all the illegal stuff. So after the body has left the coroner's office, he would be told to remove what, according to the will of the person. So if the person said that I would like my eyes to be given out to research, so he is only allowed to take the eyes. But this guy was actually harvesting everything on that human being, even the bones, and replacing the bones with plastic pipes.
Dude.
And they were the kind of family that you look at their house, you look at their cars, and everybody was envious about that family because they had money, they had a private jet, they have everything. And the woman just knew that the guy is making money specifically through the legal trade of human organs. So the story comes out when a second autopsy is ordered by the courts.
Oh my God.
And one of his victims is exhumed. And when it goes to the coroner's office, the coroner tells the people that brought the body that I don't have a body. I don't have a single organ. I don't have all the bones. Then he's asked, what do you have? He says, all I have are plastic pipes. And everybody's like, damn, what happened? The office of the FBI is actually called. And the FBI is asking, okay, so the body came from the coroner's office. What happened to the body after that? Did it go to the mortuary? He says, no, the body after going to the coroner, it went to the office where an organ was supposed to be taken according to the will of this gentleman. So the police is suspecting the coroner's office or the place where the organ was taken. Okay? So what does the police do? The police say, hang on, we are not going to talk to this guy just now.
Right.
Let's see what he does. So they look at the Nini and they realize that he has got 10 bodies that are supposed to pass through his office. And the guy does everything that he did to the other person. Takes all the organs and takes all the bones and replaces them with plastic pipes. And that is how the wife actually know when the guy is arrested and in prison for a long, long time. Who the bleep did I marry? So you see, that's the story of the painter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the story of the painter, of the things that happen and we have no clue about.
And that's the complexity about marriages, You want to imagine that you know someone and you are sleeping with someone who is stealing body organs. It's cringy. Like, what? I was sleeping with this person, waking up in the morning and preparing you breakfast? Oh, my Lord.
And they went to the underground garage where he was doing it, and it looked like a scene from a horror movie.
The wife didn't have access.
Of course, he was doing it in a commercial building, and it was horror. It was stinking. It was full of body parts. It was then looked bad. Even the people of the documentary are warning you that what you're about to see is horrifying. And he was there every day. And coming back to the house in a very executive car. So that is the story of the painter. How this lady gets this man in Europe, and it's all love. But then she also has that 21 gun, which the man didn't know about.
And he seemed very okay with it. He was like, we all have our secrets. And you're like, oh, boo, he's the nice one.
Yeah.
And then we jump to Brenda. Hey, Brenda is savage. What?
Brenda is savage.
Brenda is savage.
Yeah, I at some point you lose your humanity, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what would happen that makes you lose yourself.
But I feel like at some for Brenda's story there was some sort of despair because she knew from the start that this child wasn't the guy's.
Yeah.
Hey. And this guy was using the child as the escape from this marriage. Something to distract him.
Yeah. We do a lot of when we want to save our skin, when we want to, I think, and that is the whole story behind the collection. It's just humans and how complicated we all are. Mm-hmm. And somebody from another planet can look down on us and say, well, those are humans. That's how they are.
Right.
That's how they go about their business. Yeah. Some have mental illnesses, and a lot of people have mental illnesses. Mm-hmm. But when we want to judge a character, we don't care about what has made them who they are, what has taken consciousness. You know, there is another documentary called what is it called? The Dark Tourism. So this guy was the assassin of Pablo Escobar, and one day Pablo Escobar told him to go and shoot his girlfriend, and he went and shot the girlfriend. And then he was being asked the other day, why did you do it? And he was saying that there's something that happens when your spirit, your soul, and your thinking is captured by someone else. And people have very many ideas of how they capture other people's minds and capture other people's thinking. So we don't know really what happened to Brenda. Brenda is hurting, right? Do you think Brenda is hurting?
She is.
Yeah.
Maybe no. I think in the beginning she must have thought that, oh my God, despite my insecurities, this person has, taken me on. And then before you know it, this person doesn't really actually like you. It was something that came from, let's just do it. And then they realized that they actually didn't have interest in you.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I don't want to be placed in that position. Sometimes
you don't even know that you're getting into this position. You get it when both feet are in the, and it becomes difficult to get out because there are so many things that are already taken place. Mm-hmm. Especially in our African setting, there are things that even your mother would tell you not to do, even though you're really hurting and it is killing you, and your own mother will tell you to stay put.
Right.
Your own sisters will tell you to stay put until you go and kill yourself. That is when they say, oh, it was that serious. It has been serious all along. So, I think one of the things that humans still struggle with is to get out of situations that is killing them.
Right.
Yeah, gathering the courage to leave. Gathering the courage to say no. I think the story of Brenda is gathering those because she didn't need to get married. Yeah, there was no need. But
when I first read, because I had two stories that you had sent me earlier. That was the painter and Brenda. And Brenda has two sides that I was like, oh my God. And then like, oh dear, that's sad. Yeah? I was like, ooh, that's a move. Oh my God, you're a psycho, There were all those things happening around her until I read James's side and I was like, hey, good. Who do you choose?
Who do you choose? Who did you choose?
I have no one. They're all a mess. We are a mess.
And that is how you now you know why it's called Urban Lovers and Liars. It's so clear. Yeah, it's so clear why it's called Urban Lovers and Liars. It is so very clear why it is called that.
My goodness. Because initially I was on, despite her madness, her installation of apps and things like that, I was like, oh, Brenda. And then when I read James's side, I was like, hey, Brenda.
You're like, you are the one.
And then we jump to the bank, the very last story in the book. I've been trying to joggle my mind around it. I don't remember the entire thing, but it's the one where there is the accident, and the woman is
so there's the guy who sells his sperm.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. And then he starts following up the kid, doing the research.
Yeah. Yeah. Doing the research and finding things.
What do you do in your case if you ever found if you found out that in your rock bottomest of bottoms, your wife found yourself in a position where she had to sell her ovary so that she gets some money? Do you feel like that's some sort of betrayal?
It is. It's a huge one. And most of the times you don't know how you're going to react to any of those things. You don't know how you're going to react to any of those things. And when somebody asks you, how are you going to react to this when it happens to you? You don't know.
Right.
You don't know. The brick that hasn't hit you, you don't know how it fails. You can only theorize. But the truth is, you don't know. You know, when people, for example, when somebody has stabbed, you find somebody in bed with your wife, and they have stabbed them, both of them to death. And then the question is put before you, and you say, "No, I wouldn't do that. I would just turn around and go." You see, it is a brick that has not hit you, so you really don't know how your brain is gonna process all that information,
right,
and the reactions that's going to come out. So some of those things, until they happen to you, you really, really can't tell how it's gonna come out. So you pray that it doesn't happen to you, you know. But you are an urbanite. Anything can happen to you.
Anything. This book?
Yeah, anything.
This book is proof that anything can happen, and you won't see it. You won't foresee it.
Yeah, anything can happen. You won't foresee it, and some people claim that they are clever. You can't be clever because there are so many blind things. Even you're looking at a wall and there are things you don't see on that wall that other people are seeing. You look at a wall and you think it's white, it's off-white. You know? You look at the same wall and somebody's seeing a picture frame. For you are seeing the TV on the wall. Yeah, so sometimes I even take a picture of my TV when I'm watching Arsenal, and people are talking about crazy things that they can see on the picture. Like some people just see what is it called? My table that is made of wood. Some people see the metal ring. Some people see the hand that is down there. Some people are talking about what is that thing? What is that thing called anchor? Some people don't know that there is something called anchor, and they're asking, what is this thing that is next to the Sony console written anchor? What does it do? Some people look at the Beanspot box and they're like, I haven't seen what that thing. It's not DSTV. What is it? You know. So people see all kinds of things on a picture, and the people who miss a lot. All they see is Arsenal playing on the TV, nothing else.
Because they know your intention for sharing the picture.
Yes, that's what I have told them to see, and that's what they have decided to see. And then there are others who are saying, okay, I don't give a shit about football. I want to see what I want to see.
Exactly.
Even that picture that Onyango put, you know, you can imagine how many things people are seeing on that picture. So that's basically about life. But I think at the end of the day, we don't look so much into it. It's just the way life is, and the things we have, the things we don't, the things we get ourselves into, the things we, and sometimes we don't just have to kill ourselves for getting into situations, you know, for being born in the families where we have been born. So you can imagine the people that were looking at that doctor that were living across the road and saying that, shit, look at this, look at the car that is taking them to school. And here I am, you know, going to school on my skate.
And the next minute you're like, I wouldn't want that to be my husband.
I wouldn't want to come close to that family. Let me go to school in our Vitz. Let's go. Let's just go and come back in it. It's really, really hard, you know. Sometimes it is hard, but you just for me, I always think that when you have a little bit of life, you're enjoying a little bit of the sunshine. Anything can be taken away from you anytime. Even that's. You remember the days of Idi Amin? Somebody will just come and take you there from where you are in that house of yours and just go and marry you by force. And you refuse and they kill you. Yeah. You don't remember Idi Amin? That's what he did to Indians.
I know what he did to the Indians, but not the story about him finding you and taking you as a wife. I think those soldiers were wrong. His soldiers were wrong.
Are you not? Yeah, those soldiers could do anything. They would get you there and marry you, and they wouldn't do anything. And your mother would just say, "Okay, let's take care of her for me."
So you asked me what my best story was.
Yeah.
I can't really choose a best because everything had me sighing, right?
Yeah.
What I might have really been very focused on was semicolon. I have a soft spot for people that, share things related to mental health. In a way, they are raising awareness. And here in semicolon, you're telling people the way whatever the semicolon means, take a pause. You might want to stop, but how about you put a comma and you move forward? So that's something that I really liked. I for the others, I kept feeling like, hey, what? Huh? And at some point I was like, when does this end? Like, there is always for me it felt like for every page that I was flipping, it felt like in someone's life you always just have to wait for your turn. When shit's gonna hit the fan.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but so thank you for having us experience urban
lovers and liars.
Exactly.
Thank you for tuning into another episode of Hashtime with Navuguzi Chwanuka. If you loved what you heard, make sure you subscribe to Hashtime with Navuguzi Chwanuka in your podcast platform of choice and share it with your friends, loved ones, and everyone that you believe is affected by the millennial world around us. Also, feel free to share your insights about what connected with you on social media and be sure to tag us. We are at Hashtime with Navuguzi Chwanuka on Facebook and Instagram, and on Twitter our handle is at HTNK Podcast, or just use the hashtag HTNK in session. We shall be able to find what your views are on a particular episode. Ciao. See you in episode 99.